how to achieve the impossible. In 1 Samuel 17, Goliath was confronting the whole army of Israel. And everybody was afraid because of his height, he's been a giant and all that. And David, being a young boy, said, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Who is this person talking against the God of heaven?" And David was willing to step out to defeat the giant. By any natural standard, that would not have happened. And David was, so confident, even when he was told that he could put on the king's armor to be able to fight the giant. He said, "No, I've not tried it before." And this David was telling the king, Saul, about how God delivered him from the lion and the bear. And the same God who delivered him will deliver him from this giant. Now, that type of mindset is rare. It was rare in those days. It's rare today. And those are the things that hinder people from being as productive as they should. It's the mindset. And like we've been talking about it, the mindset is a product of your history. The mindset is a product of your belief system. The mindset is a product of your past. And if you don't know how to deal with those things, they will hinder the future. The example we have also is found in Numbers 13, when the children of Israel, from verse 26 to verse 33, children of Israel were told, God told Moses that they should go and take the land. And he selected 12 leaders of the people to go and spy the land. And they told Moses, "We came to the land which you sent us. Surely it flows with milk and honey. This is its fruit." So Moses told them it was going to be flowing like God told Moses. "But the people who dwell there are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, there we saw the sons of Anak, of great stature and courage. Amalek dwells in the land of the south, the Negeb. The Hittite, the Jebusite, and the Amorite dwell in the hill country, and the Canaanite dwells by the sea and along by the side of the Jordan River." Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to conquer it." Caleb was one of the people that were sent, so he saw all that they saw. But his fellow scouts said, "We're not able to go up against the people of Canaan, for they are stronger than we are." So they brought the Israelites an evil report of the land which they had scouted out, saying, "The land through which we went to spy it out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. There we saw the Nephilim, or giants, the sons of Anak, who came from the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, so we were in their sight." So the question is, did you think they had a discussion with those people and said, "Do you see us as grasshoppers?" No, they didn't. They said, "In our own sight." And how you see yourself is how others will see you. So the question I've always asked, and I'm willing to answer today, is where did they get the grasshopper mentality? That the same Caleb was amongst them, and he saw what they saw, but he said, "Let's go at once and take the land." But these same people said, "The people in that land are like giants, and we are like grasshoppers." My answer to that question is, the grasshopper mentality came from the days of slavery in Egypt. It is known that up to the age of 6, our minds are not able to filter anything good or evil. We just take them all in. They had seen the Red Sea split into two, the Egyptians perish in the sea, the pillar of cloud by day, the pillar of fire by night. Miracles or demonstration of power doesn't always produce a change of belief. It can inspire changes, but the decision has to be made. Take note of how the company we keep can also help in reinforcing the beliefs in us. It is on record that when we fellowship with people, their beliefs tend to awaken in us some beliefs we had beforehand. Many who flock together tend to have some common beliefs after a while. So you see that who you relate with also, the company you keep affects your belief and it can affect your productivity. So they got this mentality of grasshopper from being slaves in Egypt. But Caleb refused to let the history of their slaves in Egypt keep him with a grasshopper mentality. So you need to learn, like what we said about David earlier today, and what we're looking at in Caleb now, that there are people whose relationship with God helped them to have a different mindset. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. That you should have such an intimacy with God that His word and His disposition towards you gives you a picture of the future that you want or that He wants for you. So when God told them to go spy the land and Caleb said we are well able, of course the people who said they are not able affected their decision as a group of people. But eventually Caleb and Aaron were old enough and they stayed until they were able to go in. And David also, utilizing his connection with God, was able to kill Goliath. And that's where you see that these all are recorded for our examples. That you and I have the privilege of believing in Jesus and allowing our relationship with Him to inform our mindsets, inform our lifestyle, inform our thoughts, and inform our belief systems. It's not enough to just know that it's in the Bible. You should confront the belief system in you. You see, when people are brought up, your nature, nurture, and culture, the things that were influencing you in your bringing up. For instance, when we say nurture, how you were brought up, nature, your humanity, and culture, the environment. So if you were brought up in an environment of competitive jealousy or comparing yourself with some other siblings and maybe they're always telling you the other siblings are better than you, it's possible that it could give you a low self-esteem. And it's not because you are poorer, it's not because you have a low whatever, just that mentality of what happened when you were growing up can give you a low self-esteem. And if you don't overcome it, it will affect many aspects of your life. Same thing applies to so many other things that we could have suffered in the hands of our nurture, nature, or culture. And if we don't know how to confront them and deal with them, don't blame God. So, God has a program for you to make progress in life, to go on from one level of glory to another, to achieve great things through the finished work of Calvary. But if you don't allow the things that you have, if you don't confront the older things you have had and the things that could have informed your mindset, informed your lifestyle, and informed your belief system, if they are contrary to God's word, it's up to you to confront them. So when you read in 2 Corinthians 10, when it says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, now you can appreciate the strongholds that need to be pulled down, not just once in a while, but regularly. The strongholds of unbelief, the strongholds of low self-esteem, the strongholds of failure, the strongholds of not making good progress in life. Those are thought patterns that have become strongholds in many lives. So strongholds, casting down imagination and every high thing that exalts itself and bringing to captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So you have 4 things there: thoughts, imaginations, high things, and strongholds. 2 Corinthians 10, 3-5. So when you now understand what strongholds are, and you understand that not one human being exists without some strongholds in them. So everybody needs to pull down strongholds, both in their own lives and when they intercede for others, they should pull down strongholds in other lives too. So now that you know these things, you can now begin to deal with the belief system, your thought patterns, and things that can hinder you. The other part of it says, when Joshua was speaking, say, if the Lord delights in us, then He will bring us into the land and give it to us, a land flowing with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, neither fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense and shadow of protection is removed from over them, but the Lord is with us, fear them not. But all the congregation said to stone Joshua and Caleb with stones. But the glory of the Lord appeared in the tent of meeting before the Israelites. And the Lord said to Moses, how long will these people provoke me? And how long will it be before they believe in me? For all the signs which I have performed among them. So you can see why I said miracles don't change your mindset or your belief system. They can impress you, but you need to deal with them. I said these people disqualify themselves from the provision of God for them. Old experiences generate beliefs that can hinder us from making progress in our faith journey in life. And we need to identify the beliefs that work in us. Watch your thoughts and actions to identify the beliefs that generate them. What are the lessons here? How we see ourselves affects how we behave and our expectations in life. Others value us as we value ourselves. A low self-esteem puts the ceiling on our potential. We see the same story of David and his men and the Ziklag story in 1 Samuel 30. I won't read all of it, but they came and found out that the Amalekites had taken all their family members and all of that, and the people thought of stoning David in 1 Samuel 31-8. Because David's wives too were taken, his children were taken too. But because David was their leader, they thought of stoning him. But David inquired of the Lord. I tell you, shall I pursue this troop? Shall I overtake them? And the Lord answered him, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. I said, thank God for David knowing how to encourage himself and bouncing out of the depressed state that their circumstances forced them into. We're going to, in the future, look into some examples in the New Testament as well. But the summary of it is this: your belief system can hinder you from being productive. That's the summary of today's message. And you need to overcome and allow positive belief systems from the Word to help you achieve what seems impossible. David killing Goliath seemed impossible. Being able to recover all that was lost in 1 Samuel 30 seemed impossible. And Joshua and Caleb being able to overcome all the 8 or 10 other reports seemed impossible. But I want you to know you have what it takes because you are connected to God by faith. Until I come your way next time, this is Rev Kola Ewuosho saying, please share these thoughts, this link with your friends. Let's have more people subscribing and more people all over the world being impacted with God's Word. God bless you.